Thanks for joining us once again for your update from the City of New Hope, recording on July 7th. And as you see, a special guest joining us. As we promised, we would do a regular update with former Mayor Hempkin to find out what she's up to. And of course, Mayor Elder with us as well. Welcome to both of you.
Thank you.
Hello.
So let's touch in with former Mayor Hempkin for just a second. First of all, we all want to know, Mayor, what have you been up to and where have you been traveling?
Well, when I was mayor, I really didn't have a chance to go anywhere. So I've spent the last 6 months going to see my grandchildren, my great-grandchildren. I've been to Arizona and California, and then I went to Hawaii. And I went with a bunch of women. We went hiking and snorkeling, stayed there for a couple of weeks, came home, changed my clothes. We went to the Czech Republic with another girlfriend, stayed there for a couple of weeks, and now I'm really home for the summer because I'm working on that golf game.
Sure.
But when summer's over in September, I'm going to go to the Greek Isles for an island hopping and then off to Costa Rica for a couple of weeks. So I'm going to be busy. With all that going on, I volunteered at the Near Food Shelf in Crystal, and before I knew it, I was the president of the board of directors. So I'm that president, and I always told the Rotary that I would be president when I wasn't mayor anymore, so I'm doing that. And we're trying to revitalize Beyond the Yellow Ribbon, and so they needed a president there too. So I've been really busy. I'm not the president of the Lions, though. I do belong to them and the women of today. So I don't sit very well and do nothing. I have to tell you though, I miss some of the parts of being mayor, like 90% of them. But when you can step out of that job and know that a really good person is going to follow you and keep the good work up, it's really easy to leave. And that's what I did. So from there, my only goal now is to improve my golf score.
Mayor Elder, does it surprise you that former Mayor Hempkin is this busy and this involved?
No, because she had to fill her time because all of her time, and I do mean all of her time as mayor, she was so active and engaged in all different aspects of the city. I've said this 1,000 times, a better role model and mentor I couldn't have had for how to do the job right. So, I'm grateful for being able to serve with her for those 16 years.
Kathy, one other question for you. You mentioned improving your golf game. Just want to ask you because I know you're our unofficial New Hope Village golf course correspondent. Did you see the water that recently came to the course? What did it look like to you, and how is the course played now?
Well, sitting up on the fourth floor with a nice balcony, I went outside and I couldn't believe it. The whole ninth hole, including the green and the tee-off box and the big white ball, were underwater. In the
Hmm.
meantime, I saw Mark down there on the course trying to take some pictures. It was flooded. There was no other
Mhm.
way to put that. By the next morning, everything had kind of settled down, but they wouldn't let carts out there, but
Right.
you could walk. And now it's absolutely gorgeous. It's very, very green. All the water has gone down. That hasn't improved my golf game any, but I'm working on it.
All right. Well, we appreciate seeing you once again, and good luck with all of your presidencies, and we will talk to you again soon.
Good. I'm going to sign off then.
All right. Thanks, Kathy. Have a great day.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
Kathy.
Well, we want to touch on a few other things happening in the city, and because of the holiday, we don't have the regular update that you're accustomed to with some of the things going on in city departments. But we thought we'd chat for just a minute about a couple important things coming up. And you may have seen a recent press release that came out from the city regarding the city survey. And we've talked about it a few times, Mayor Elder. But again, remind us what that city survey is, first of all, and why the city has that as an annual tool.
It it is a survey where we ask people a lot of questions about every aspect of the city. And it has to do with city services. How do you feel about police services? How do you feel about the roads? How do you feel about park and rec? How do you feel about public works, the snow removal? How do you feel about the community development, community engagement? How do you feel about the council? All the areas and avenues that the city travels down. And these are super important. And we really ask people to fill these out because every single survey is read. And I will go through every single survey as well. And we will, there's a space there that if you want to call back, I mean, these are can all be done anonymously. But if you want to call back, you can leave your name and phone number, and a person from that particular division that you would like a call back on, they will call you. And there's a checks and balance system to make sure that, we do connect with everybody that wants a call.
Mm-hmm.
And these help us guide city services and how we do things. And several years ago, we noticed a huge number of complaints about traffic and about people just being wholly lawless, and the number of speeding vehicles and the number of stop signs that are run, and just complaints. And that's one of the biggest complaints we get in the city. And so we sat down and talked about it and said, really, how can we address this? And our officers are busy with calls and other parts of their job. And so the police department came up with a traffic car where that officer's only job is to go out and enforce traffic. They're not out taking, my mailbox got hit, any of these other routine calls. Now they can help out on priority calls. They're close to a heart attack call. They're certainly going to go to that. But it was really was a priority for us to try to get a handle on the lawless behavior of people in the motoring public. And so we invested some of the police department's budget money to get a traffic car.
Okay.
And we are seeing less complaints now. So that program spawned from the number of complaints we received through the survey. And so it is important. It helps us know what's important. What's important to me personally, John Elder as a resident, may not be what is absolutely, mind bending to other people. So this is people's time. We ask people to wholly be respectful and to fill them out properly or legitimately. I don't want to have staff go through and read through something that's all pranking and complaints
Sure.
about UFOs and but we ask people to please fill these out and fill them out honestly. And again, we don't know who's sending them in. People don't have to be concerned about that. Let us know what your thoughts are.
Let's talk for a second here about how people can participate, and we'll do it again a little bit later, so we make sure you get that. So residents can complete it online, and let's have the address here at the bottom of the screen. newhopemn.gov/survey is the way to do it online, and that's probably the most effective for the city, easy way to tabulate. But a paper copy, I understand, went out with utility bills, or might soon be going out. Is that correct?
Correct. That is completely correct.
All right, so people can fill that out, and if you did not get one in your utility bill or that didn't work for you, you can certainly stop by City Hall as well during regular business hours, and they will have that printed copy for you there as well. Now, Mayor, I'm seeing in the press release here as well that this goes bigger than just the city of New Hope. This looks like it's something that actually the Minnesota Legislature Council on Local Results and Innovation passed years ago. So this is a performance measurement program that all cities work with. Is that correct? Or many cities? Tell us about that bigger scope of this.
Absolutely. The state legislature wanted cities to continue to seek feedback from their residents. So a measurement tool, whatever that means to that particular city, it could be, some person can go out and pick 10 people off the street
Right.
and talk to them about something, and that technically meets the measurement tool.
Mm-hmm.
We wanted to do it properly, and we wanted to do it where we could get back the meaningful data that we're seeking.
Mm-hmm.
We want people to tell us what they would like, or what they don't like, or
Mm-hmm.
what they think is going really well. It's always fun to see people. 89% feel, strongly believe that, this is a safe city.
Right.
And 82% are ecstatic with their plowing services.
Mm-hmm.
So it's nice for us to see what not only what we're needing to improve on, but where are things that we're doing well and doing right. And I want to make sure our employees see the positive as well, not just golly, we got to get better at this, or we got to do better, or we need to concentrate on this. Those are important messages to get to staff
Right.
and the policy setters on council. But it's also super important for us to tell staff, you know what? You're doing great at these things. And
Mm-hmm.
yep, there are some things we need to tweak, we need to get better on. But you know what? Your hard work is appreciated, and our city staff are hard workers.
You bet. Yeah. Some positive affirmation helps everybody. So we're
Absolutely.
recording this again in early July. The survey is open now, and the deadline is October 1st. But I think the message from the city is don't wait till the end of September to get this done. Get it done earlier, because then that helps on the reading process, I would guess, for you and others. You can read at a gentle pace throughout the next couple months.
Yeah, we got ours in our utility bill last month, and my wife's already filled it out and sent it in.
Good.
And I will probably fill out my own as well. Just
Sounds good. All right.
she
Well,
she and I even have different priorities, so
I can imagine.
bless her for that.
All right. So again, it is open now. And again, you can go online again at that website, newhopemn.gov/survey. Look for that paper copy in the utility bill, or stop by City Hall if you didn't get one. And you can make sure you fill that out and give some feedback to the city. And here on our updates each week, we'll give you some feedback of how many have come in and maybe what some of
Yep.
the comments are as we move along. Final couple minutes here. We thought since it's mid-year, it might be good to remind residents of some of the goals that have been set by the city this year, and maybe some updates on how things are progressing on those goals. So, Mayor, how are we looking in the goal category?
We're holding our own. We're doing
Okay,
well.
good.
The city has 5 strategic goals. First one has to do with maintaining and improving the infrastructure, which includes water distribution, storm water, sewer, roads, parks, lighting, and city facilities. And we're doing really well with that. And we are coming up to nearing the end of the water tower project on the south end.
Mm-hmm.
They do have it painted, thankfully. I bet I received no less than 50 calls from
Right.
people that saw the greenish mud green paint that was on there. That was a primer.
Mm-hmm.
And so now the color that you see there now is the color that it will be. Our parks are being well maintained. We have an incredible crew through Public Works and through our Parks Department that are responsible for keeping those up. And our city facilities look great. We got the second sheet of ice redone at the ice arena. It looks great, and we're using that facility to no end. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
they
Mm-hmm.
just are leasing that out, are renting out that ice space and the dry land space. So,
Sure.
second goal is that we want to be frugal in spending and resourceful financial management to maintain our fiscal health.
Mm-hmm.
And Our city is doing very well at that, and that is evident by the fact that the last couple of years we've had the lowest levy in the area, as well as we are looking like it's going to be that way for 2026. The levy we put in place in 2025 for 2026. And that's important. The city is very, very frugal in what it decides to spend its money on. And when I say its money, I mean the city's money. It's the taxpayer dollars, the money raised by permit fees, by facility usage fees, everything that generates money in the city. And our levies remain low. The thing people need to remember is that we have a street infrastructure and park infrastructure fund that tax money goes into. So when people have their streets or parks redone, they don't get an assessment. And all the cities around us have that. So if the city decides to redo your street, you're not going to end up with a $7, $10, $14,000 bill that it's going to cost you. So you pay it off in your taxes every year, and you never get hit with this bill. Same thing with parks. They turn around, they redo a park. It's a few $100,000 for the project. The residents in that area aren't getting snapped with that. So that's really, really important for people to keep in mind. Our third is the maintenance, redevelopment, and reinvestment in existing properties to improve or enhance our tax base. Our scattered site housing program is doing so well. We are buying homes up for $200,000, and we're raising the property, preparing the property, and then selling it to a builder who then in turn is putting up a $550,000 house. And the tax money that comes in on a $550,000 house is a whole lot more than the home that was there. So we're using community development block grant, CDBG money through the county to do this program, and it's earmarked for housing. So that's going very, very well. Our community development team works so hard on this, and we've gotten some gorgeous properties and some gorgeous final products out of it. Our fourth strategic goal is to provide core services with a professional staff that are equipped with the necessary tools and given necessary direction. And I will say that the service given by our staff is professional, but it's also personal. It's professional and friendly. And those are important things. They have the right tools to do the jobs they need to do, and they're provided the right direction. So very, very proud of our accomplishments and continuing to work towards that goal. And our fifth strategic goal is that we will facilitate and improve communications and promote effective intergovernmental cooperation between staff, citizens, and council. And our public communications director, Beth Kramer, does an outstanding job. And we work very, very closely with CCX. Case in point right here. We work closely with our residents through our social media, through the regular media, as well as the stuff that goes out in on our bills, our city website. There's a lot of information going out, and there's a lot of avenues for residents to be able to connect with the city and with the council if they'd like to. Um, I get a ton of phone calls on my city cell phone, and it's great. It's so important to be able to interact, and I'm very proud to be a mayor of a city that is doing so well, is and has just remarkable residents and businesses.
Well, thank you very much for the look at those goals. It's good to remind ourselves of what they are, and certainly there'll be something that will be recapped in fuller form as we do a State of the City in early 2026 to talk
Yep.
about some of that work and maybe look ahead to future goals as well. Well,
Yeah.
Mayor, thanks so much again for the time today. Good to chat with former Mayor Hempkin and get some
Yes.
updates on that city services survey. Again, it's open now. Make sure you go to the city's website, newhopemn.gov, to find out more. And here's a look at some other things that are coming up in the community. Mayor, thanks again for your time. You have a great week.
Dave, thank you so much. Be well.
For more city stories, check out ccxmedia.org or find us on social media.